Hey guys, it's Usafa. Welcome back to another episode of Voices of the Community. So this episode, we're going to sit down with one of the most insightful and passionate creators in Marvel Contest of Champions. Today's guest is someone who's built a reputation for sharp analysis, fearless opinions, and an unapologetically practical approach to the game. He's been creating content since he was 14 years old, a veteran of Masters War, a Celestial Battlegrounds player, and a voice that isn't afraid to challenge the norm. Whether he's breaking down complex champion kits, questioning balance decisions, or spotlighting under the radar performers, his focus always comes back to one thing: showcasing champions in real, practical settings. From dissecting why Nico Minoru may have broken the Mystic meta, to exploring what went wrong with Morbius, to hands on beta impressions with Frankencastle, his content inspires discussion, learning, and sometimes a little bit of healthy chaos. Please welcome to Voices of the Community, Grass. Hey guys, it's Usafa. Welcome back to another episode of Voices of the Community, and I am wicked excited to have Grass on the horn. Grass, how about you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us how you got to be interested in the game and what you're interested in now.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Grass. I've been playing the game for about 5 years now. I've been doing YouTube for about four. I started playing the game in the summer of COVID, as I'm sure a lot of people started playing during that time. But I had a friend's parents who was playing the game. I was just watching. I was like, "Geez, this actually looks super awesome."
Yeah.
So I downloaded it on my iPad when I got home later that day, and sure enough, I've played the game pretty much every day since that moment. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, Grass, I became aware of you because of the great content that you've been creating around battlegrounds and your war fights and stuff like that. And again, you do fantastic content, and it's amazing that you just began starting playing this game at the age of 14, which is incredibly early. What inspired you to create MCOC content back then, and how has your approach evolved over the years?
That's always an interesting question to answer because it's kind of a funny story as to how I started YouTube.
Yeah,
I think yeah, I was 14 when I started doing the channel.
yeah.
I got the game when I was 13, but when I
Wow.
started the channel, it was around Christmas time, and me and my cousin got laptops for Christmas. And well, we were messing around with the laptops and noticed the app iMovie on the laptops, which is just like editing software, basically Apple's
Yeah,
own editing software. And we're messing with it, and it was just like, wait, we could use these to make YouTube videos for MCOC, which we both play.
yeah.
And then from there, it just became, okay, well, let's do that and make a challenge. Whoever can get to 50 subscribers first wins. So that's on that day. That was when I posted my first YouTube video in a race with my cousin to get to 50 subscribers. He quit after two videos, but I never actually stopped.
Right.
Um, and that's how my channel was born. I just never stopped after he gave up in the competition, essentially.
Do you create any other content other than MCOC?
No, I don't. This is the only channel I have, and it's honestly one of the only games I actually play.
Yeah.
I play like Marvel Snap on my phone as well, but I've never been huge on like console or PC games.
Yeah.
So I just spend my time on MCOC pretty much primarily.
Do you remember when like you knew you made it, right? Like you knew that you had a successful channel the first time that a video like actually connected with people. The moment you really thought, okay, people care about my perspective.
Um, so I guess like first moment where I thought I might have made it would be when Viv Vision got rebalanced, and I uploaded a video talking about her rebalance changes when it went live in the game, because she was like my favorite character to use at the time. And that video to this day is my most viewed video on YouTube, talking about and showing the buffed Viv Vision. And I think it was just there. It was like, yeah, I can really show off some cool stuff from older champions that I like to get buffed now, or just even underrated champs in general.
Right. So you're very competitive, right? I mean, in this game, you are a competitive MCOC player, correct?
Yeah, I'd say I would be.
All right. So between all the competitive modes, what competitive mode in this game do you like creating content on most? Is it Battlegrounds, War? What do you think?
Um, it's a mix of both. I'd say war generally more so.
Yeah.
Because I war is probably my favorite mode in MCOC period,
Okay.
because of the amount of strategy that's involved in war. And it makes it a little bit easier to create content for because it's something that I have to do anyway. Whereas for like Battlegrounds, if I'm trying to make content, like I have to find exactly like these matchups that I'm looking for to show off and stuff like that. War just like it happens, and I don't have to put a lot of effort into like actually making the videos for it.
Right.
But then again, when I can make like really big BG showcases off of one champ, like I've done with Maker recently, then those are like probably my favorite videos to do on my channel. I just can't do as many of them as I'd like to because they take up a lot more time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Absolutely, and I've gone through your list of videos, especially the recent ones, and to me, it seems like you like to butt consensus. You like to go against the community consensus about against a particular champ, and you just recently did that against Frankencastle, where there were multiple videos that were sent out about how mid Frankencastle was, and you came up and you're like, wait a minute, he's not that bad. What makes you do you like to go against community consensus when you build your videos?
It's not even necessarily them trying to go against community consensus. I just
Okay.
like to try stuff out for myself and see how I feel about it. And when I was playing Frankencastle, I thought that this is a champion that I think actually could matter for like battlegrounds content later on because of like the various different defenders that he genuinely has some really good tools for. And I didn't look at that much Frankencastle content. I didn't know a lot of people were calling him mid, but
Yeah,
that does make it interesting that I kind of found him to be a lot more useful than seems like a lot of other content creators might have.
yeah. Do you get a lot of pushback on some of the videos that you do produce about, hey, I really don't kind of agree with you with regards to this champion being any good? Is there pushback from the community, or is everybody pretty much able to understand your point of view and your opinion on this particular champions?
If I'm talking about a champion, usually it's fine. Like the most common thing would be just like this champ's too slow in Battlegrounds, which is something we've had to deal with ever since Battlegrounds came out, right?
Yeah,
And that was like a big thing for Maker too, where I thought he was extremely useful because of the amount of different defenders he could take, but he was slower than some of the like the more nuked like champs, and that
yeah.
usually is what makes people not appreciate that kind of content as much because of the fact that he's lacking a bit of speed. But generally, like recently, it hasn't been as bad. Like when my channel was a lot younger, I'd say that was a big thing where it's like almost always it would be this champ is really too slow or just not as useful.
Yeah.
But honestly, 2025 hasn't been as much of that, in my opinion.
And to be completely honest, I have been focusing on a lot of the prestige 30 champions and try to get my prestige up to a point where I feel comfortable. I'm still not there yet, but I am starting to feel a little comfortable. And to be completely honest, I went outside of that prestige top 30 to do a recent rank 4, and it was all based upon your video, and that was the maker. And I,
Oh,
so
really?
I R4'd him about I want to say 3 weeks ago, and ever since I did, I had been using him constantly in war because you're absolutely right. He is a fantastic war attacker. He absolutely melts a lot of champions that you wouldn't expect to take. So that was based upon your video that I R4'd the maker.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not even a top 30 prestige champ, actually, though.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's out. He's out. Frankencastle is, and so is Dracula, but the maker didn't make the cut. So yeah, that's
Hmm.
that's a little bit too bad. All right. So you often talk about practical settings, real fights, not showcase ones. What does that term mean to you, and why is it central to your content?
Usually what that means is like I'm going to often prefer like a real time like this champion in a competitive mode like War or BGs. Like I will use the test server. I've only had access to it for like a month, but I prefer to use the test server only when it's just like I really am having a hard time being able to get this matchup shown off in the live server. Because nodes, masteries, all that kind of thing plays a lot into a champion's like prominence for a specific matchup. And the example I always use is like Photon,
Yeah,
because it Photon in BGs and War is completely different than her in any other game mode, simply because the mastery inequity exists.
yeah,
So champions could fight her on the test map or in a questing scenario and perform much better than they would in real time because 36 attack reduction, 36% attack reduction is a significant thing.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, that's why I try to seek out other popular game modes like competitive wise first before going into questing and CCP beta.
Right. So, when you approach a champion that you want to do a video on or that you want to learn more about and enjoying, do you take the approach of don't trust just what's written in their abilities summary, but actually use them in practical uses across multiple game modes to determine the value of that particular champion?
For me, it's trying to figure out like how many different types of defenders they can take.
Okay.
Because the thing that I value most in a champion is I can use them for almost every defender that you would commonly see, and they'll still put up like a respectable score, right? It doesn't have to be like a Hughes Maker versus Zola. Like Carolina is obviously going to be so much better for Zola, but the fact that Maker can do it and have a pretty respectable score still, even if it's not Carolina level, is something that I value a lot in champions if they can do that many different defenders.
Right. In your Nico Minoru video breakdown, that was one of your most in-depth critiques. What exactly about her design felt like a step backwards in class balance?
So my biggest issue with Nico Minoru is she took the Cosmic class and like the big four Cosmic Defenders, which I call Maestro Serpent, Thanos, and Dark Phoenix,
Yep.
and basically shut their kits off with effects like the buff immunity, the halt, and the acid burn replacement. All three of those things combined just to make it to where there's not much defensive threat left
Yeah.
in these champions kits. And that just wasn't something I liked that much because I like when there's a reason to use a bunch of different champs in your class roster.
Yeah.
Like if there's a reason to use White Tiger for these two cosmics and then Shothra for these other two cosmics, that's kind of what I prefer.
Yeah.
To where like there's not an objective, here's the best mystic for everything. And that was kind of my main issue with Nico.
Yeah. Do you think the introduction of Nico into the contest hurt or helped overall enjoyment and gameplay?
For the community, it probably helped it a lot. Just for me personally, I wasn't a big fan of it
Yeah.
because I don't like, again, the objective best thing. But I think overall, like the community probably thinks that Nico is really healthy for the game, and also for them, yeah, I'd say that she's a really good addition to the game because of the amount of cosmic that she does take.
Yeah. Do you think there's a line between healthy dominance of a champion versus a meta warping overreach, like somebody that turns off all of these, like especially the cosmic capabilities? But is there a line for you?
I mean, I'd say the line is just kind of when they take the entire class with ease, like Nico does.
Yeah.
But with how the meta can shift, like that's not going to be permanent. Like, I've been having a conspiracy theory that like we're gonna see a cosmic null 2.0 defender soon,
Yeah.
because they're gonna eventually release a cosmic defender that Nico can't shut off, and I saw Dracula's Sig ability was like giving him extra attack rating for armor breaks on him. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're gonna get another armor breaking cosmic soon, aren't we?
Yeah. So on the flip side of we got Nico out there that could have game breaking ability, takes the entire cosmic class. Recently, Kabam released Frankencastle, which focused mostly on science auto block champions, making it more of a specialist focused champion. Especially Frankencastle was kind of tuned towards taking on high evolutionary. Do you think that specialist design for you is more enjoyable?
Yeah, I'd say Frankencastle's closer to the design that I prefer more, because he's taking one half of the science class and not really touching the other half of the science class, like
Yeah,
defensively. Like the science class has the auto blocking champs, the ones who are like not really subject to the ability accuracy modifications that a lot of skilled champs try to do, like Evo. His auto block isn't affected by ability accuracy. Modok increases his own ability accuracy further, so you wouldn't be using those type of skilled champs. And then like he's not very good for Photon and Spider Woman because that's like the opposite side of the science class.
yeah,
And so that's kind of like that's kind of like the design I like, whereas you've got one skill champ who's really good for those auto blocking, ability accuracy reduction, immune or resistant science champs, and then you have one skill champ who's good for those photon Spider Woman type science champs, but doesn't necessarily blend over to the other side.
Yeah. Do you think between those two different sides of the spectrum, how do you think Kabama's doing right now in champion design today? Do you think they're doing a good job of balancing those two sides of the spectrum, or do you think they should pull more towards the middle?
I think they're doing a pretty good job this year. That was another controversial thing I said with how they're designing champs.
Yeah,
I think they're honestly doing pretty well. There are a few mistakes that I don't necessarily appreciate, like the Nico thing, and I wasn't a big fan of. I mean, I am a big fan of Gene. I didn't pick on Gene as much because I think the skill class defensively was much less developed than the Cosmic class was.
yeah,
So it means a little bit less that the skill class is getting turned off compared to Cosmic, in my opinion. But like, there's gonna be a couple champs where they'll just be the best, and that's just how it's gonna be because there's always gonna be the best champ for something, right?
absolutely.
Um, but overall, I think this year has been pretty solid in that department.
In your and referencing another one of your many great videos on your channel, in your "What Happened to Morbius" video, you framed him as a champ that has big numbers but no lasting identity. What defines a champion's staying power in today's MCOC meta?
It's usually going to be like these are the keys to basically destroy the new defender that came out earlier this year or recently, right?
Right.
So someone like Morbius, when he came out, um, he wasn't doing that much to counter the Mystic class, and the Mystic class wasn't like extremely prominent defensively either.
Yep.
And even back in like 2022 or 2023 when he came out, I think it was 2023 actually. There just wasn't a lot of defensive development where a lot of the game was just you're going to win by being able to nuke down the defender,
Yeah.
which was actually interesting because that was something Morbius was really good at, was like nuking down stuff. But he wasn't better at it than like some other science champs or like the juggernauts of the world, right? So the fact that he doesn't have an extremely big utility kit to go along with the fact that he's primarily a nuke champ just doesn't have a lot of lasting power.
Yeah.
Because generally, like the utility kits, like the counter tools that a champion has, those are going to age better than this champ has high damage output. That's not always going to be the case. Look at Juggernaut, look at Torch, but
Yeah.
still.
Do you think there's a chance that Morbius could stage a comeback and become one of the meta relevant champions out there, or do you think he's kind of in the background now and will forever stay in the background?
Judging by Morbius's kit, I don't see a lot of utility that he has that would come back for like another Mystic Defender coming in the future. So I
Yeah.
do think he's going to stay by the wayside.
Yeah. Now, a lot of your videos and a lot of other content creators' videos, when they do champion spotlights, they show the perfect play style of that particular champion against a particular defender, and it's more of the same, right? It's perfect play style, and this is how you use this champion, and this and big red numbers, and the defender is dead. But that's not all the way always how it is when you post war videos. Um, you leave when you post your war videos, you leave your messy moments in during a particular war fight. You get mistimed heavies, you get bad AI, mid-flight adjustments. Why is showing that imperfection so important to your audience?
Yeah, like no player is perfect, obviously. And I think it's important to show the mistakes that you make in a fight. Not only because it shows that like people make mistakes in war, but also how like you can recover from those mistakes in the right moment.
Yeah,
Like if I get down to 30% on my champion's health pool, I might have to change how I'm playing this champion to finish the fight out, right?
yeah,
Um, so I do think it's important that you show off your mistakes in that regard.
yeah. How do you prepare for your war fights?
It helps that I do war planning
Okay.
for my battle group for most wars.
Yep.
So like I usually do all the thinking in my head while I'm planning for the rest of the BG as well. Like this is how I'm gonna do this fight, and then it means that I can take this path, and I don't have to put another player there. But I'd say in general for war, figure out what the key threat of the node defender combo is, and then think, okay, this is the threat. How am I going to avoid it? And if this thing can go haywire, how am I going to adapt to recover from it?
Yeah. Have you taken Frankencastle or Dracula into war yet?
No, I do not own the champions on the live server as seven
Okay.
stars yet. I want to get Frankencastle for sure from the Titan rollover. Dracula, I don't think I'd rank on my live account, but I would rank up Frankencastle and hopefully have fun in war with him if I get him.
Yeah. Yeah, I was debating whether or not to rank for him today, but I did not take that. I went back to my my Prestige 30 list, and I'm back to that now. If you put out another video, saying that Frankencastle is fantastic and you should rank him up immediately, then I'll definitely do that based upon your recommendation. Um, so so just based upon your experience and based upon your battlegrounds experience, war experience, experience making videos, doing deep dive on champions, can you do a prediction of where we would expect to see the meta head for this next year? Are we talking about, is it going to be focused mostly on mechanics, node tags? Where is the meta going?
That's really hard to say. I do think it's going to be pretty similar to 2025. I don't see any signs of the design philosophy they've been doing stopping.
Yeah,
We've had obviously some characters recently who are a bit um, less like I'm going to counter this thing and this thing and this thing. We've had a lot more champions where we're focusing on this is a really cool play style that the champion can have, like Frankengastle and Dracula for sure. I think they have some of the most unique play styles in the game, and that was kind of like the intent when making them.
yeah.
I feel like more than the actual kit that they have. But who knows? I don't think I could give a very good prediction of what 2026 will be like, but I do think it'll be pretty similar to what 2025's looked like so far.
Okay. Let's switch gears and talk about your role as a creator, and about this heavy responsibility that we all hold as content creators. You've built a reputation for challenging both Kabam and the community. Do you think do you feel content creators have a responsibility to push critical discussion even if it's unpopular?
Yeah, like especially like all the YouTubers calling out Kabam recently, like that for a lot of them that is going to be a really good responsibility that they have to tell the community. For me personally, that's not something I'm really interested in getting involved with.
Yeah,
Like a lot of like the recent stuff with Kabam in the past month. Like I kind of just felt like this month I just wanted to do gameplay videos, honestly. But I do think that yeah, it is a responsibility for those popular YouTubers to talk about what's happening
yeah.
and give their advice as to how we should handle it.
Do you ever hold anything back because you think that it would cause more drama in the community than is needed?
Yeah, I definitely do hold some stuff back. Like when Spider-Woman was announced to be rebalanced, like I made a video on that. And then when they made the post that yeah, we're gonna revert the change now, I didn't make a video on it, even though I definitely had some thoughts to share on it. I was just like, I don't even want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah,
We're just gonna move on.
right, right. There's a lot of voices that are communicating the same issues. There's no need to pile on, that's for sure. Um, how do you measure success as a content creator?
That's an interesting question. Like for me, I don't necessarily have big goals. I just like I want to keep doing the same thing I've been doing. If I get more subscribers, that's great. If my revenue gets a better month next month, great. But my main goal, I just said I don't really have a lot of goals, but here I am. My main goal is just to try to do the same thing I always do and provide interesting gameplay that shines the light on unpopular champions and even popular champions who I think should be used even more often than they already are.
Absolutely. All right. I've got a set of rapid fire questions for you. All right. Now, I don't want you to think about
Okay.
the answer. I just want you to, the first thing that pops to your mind, um, and don't go too crazy critical into figure out what the right answer is. Just give me your quick, honest reaction and answer. You ready for these?
Oh, geez. Okay.
All right. All right. Here we go. Favorite underrated champion in MCOC right now?
Maker.
The Maker. You know, I think he's starting to get a little bit more popularity because of videos like yours, man. I think he is. Most overrated champion.
I used to always say Apocalypse, but I don't think I can say that anymore.
Oh.
The Illuminati members are gonna hate me if they hear this, but I'm saying Cheelth.
Overrated, Chiel. So
Yes.
she's who I brought up to rank 4 today, man. So
Yeah.
she's
It's been a running thing in the Illuminati because they all love Cheelth, and I've just never been a fan of Cheelth. Like, I just don't see the appeal that a lot of other people there see.
yeah,
So, yeah.
she's killing it this BG meta. But yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, if you could buff one champ tomorrow, who gets the treatment?
Ooh, okay. Okay, I'll say Arcade because like obviously he's my favorite champ and he's not very meta relevant.
Yeah,
Um, the easy answers would have been like I was thinking back to my old channel, like some of the characters I really played a lot, and they would be like Captain Britain and Anti Venom. They got buffs back to back months or in the summer.
absolutely.
It's Jubilee. That would be probably the definitive one because
Yes.
that's like the other champ I played way back, like when my first channel first started.
Yeah, she got
Um,
her kit is just they could have done so much more with her. Um,
yeah.
a champion you refuse to use, no matter how good they are.
Ooh. Okay. I want to say Onslaught. I still use him, but he's like I don't really want to rank for him. Like I just don't really feel like using him over other mutants.
Yep. What's the hardest fight you ever soloed that you're still proud of?
Ooh. Okay. That I ever soloed. That's a weird one. Like, what is the hardest fight? I haven't soloed like Necropolis Grandmaster or something. I think that is probably the hardest fight to solo in the entire game.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't soloed Abyss Collector or the Collector for that kind of thing either. I haven't even beaten the Abyss. I'd probably say like maybe Glycon. Like I'm trying to think of like act bosses. I think Glycon might be the hardest act boss that we've seen like in Act 8 and later. Is there anything like really difficult in Act 7 or earlier that I've soloed before? I don't really think so.
What about Ares? Have
Um,
you soloed Ares before?
I have not soloed Ares either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a couple good runs, but I never actually got a solo on him.
All right. We'll move on. All right. So, what is your initial reaction when you first see the words Kabam patch notes? What emotion wells up in your body?
I'm excited to see what's happening next month, especially content wise.
All right. Who wins in a duel, Tigra or Bastion?
Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh, that's a really hard question. Okay, wait a minute. Um, okay, I'd say overall for me personally, Tiger is a better champion. Um, that is an insane toss up though. That's like me picking what I think is a Mystic in the top two and a Tech champ in the top two of
Yep.
their class.
Dude, I do my research, man. Um,
Yeah.
all right. Finish this sentence. At the end of the day, MCOC is about.
Fun. I mean, that's like the obvious answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want, I don't think you want me to go more in depth, but I do have a bit more of an in-depth answer.
All right, hit me.
It would be progressing your roster to tackle all the various contents and game modes that the game provides.
Dude, that's awfully analytical. I would have gone the MCOC is about family. All right, so closing up the interview here, I've got just a few more questions for you. You've been creating since you were 14. What's the biggest lesson that long journey's taught you about the longevity of being a creator?
If the game's healthy, then your channel ends up being healthy. That's like the biggest thing for me. Like I know when this game dies out, my channel's probably gonna die out too, because
Yeah,
I personally don't want to take it to another game. Um, but the fact that this game is so popular and even when it has rough months, people are always watching content on YouTube,
yeah,
that feels really good. And it makes the YouTube aspect of the game have staying power.
yeah.
So.
Absolutely. If you were a brand new MCOC YouTuber starting today, what's the one piece of advice that you'd insist that they follow?
Um, I would like what advice would I give them?
Yep.
Yep. I would say find something you both love. Find something you love to do in the game and post about it first, or find something unique that you don't think is done enough in the YouTube community as well. Because that's kind of what I mixed together in my first year of my channel,
Yeah.
was something unique and something I really love doing.
I personally would give them another piece of advice as well, and it would be do not read the comments. That would be my.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So, last question I have for you. I ask everybody this question. I want Voices of the Community to be a long-running series, interview many, many more people across all walks of life. Question for you is, who would you like to see in an upcoming Voices of the Community? You can give me a name. You can give me a category: free to play, casual spender, whale. Who would you like to see most in a future episode of Voices of the Community?
Ooh, okay. I haven't seen who you've already had on the show. I saw a couple names, but have you had Truth Comic yet?
Truth is actually going to be interviewed in Vancouver in person, so I'm looking forward to getting Truth.
Perfect. Well, there's the answer.
There you go. All right, done. All right, Grass. So thank you so much for spending your night with me, man. This was a fantastic conversation. I am truly a fanboy of your channel. I can't wait to see many more videos that you put out and champion deep dives, Alliance War missteps. Absolutely fantastic. Makes me feel like a better player. But thank you, thank you so much, Grass. For all the viewers and listeners of this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. Allows me to produce more of these Voices of the Community interviews with many more people, and look for many more episodes coming out this week and next week, especially with Vancouver coming up. I'm going to be doing a lot of live interviews out there when I'm out there. So again, everybody, thank you so much. Grass, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and we'll see you guys in a future video.